Hello everyone, I hope that you're fine and that you are being really serious in this difficult time. So I know that it's not easy and that I'm sure that you miss school. So this is our first video. I want you to take your article and I want you to take 8 pens with 8 different colors. So you can pause the video and when you're ready, you come back to the video. So this video, I'm going to comment the text and then I'm going to give you a lesson, and a lesson that you have to write on your copybook. So when you're ready, you take your pens and you take the text. So this article, this document is an article which is published in the Guardian. The Guardian is a very serious newspaper, a very serious British newspaper. It was published in 2013, so it means that it was published 7 years ago. And this article is about this idea of e-waste and the idea of danger of this e-waste. E-waste, you've got some synonyms in the text. E-waste means E for electronic. And then you've got different words that you can use, electronic devices, or you can say electronical product or electronic equipment. And you can also replace electronical by technical and by this idea of innovation, which is the title of our sequence. So, in this article, you've got the point of view of 3 different groups. So, the UN, in red, the United Nations. You've got Interpol, which is the International Criminal Police Organization. And you've got the European Environment Agency. So they are all European or international organization, and something that you've got to focus on is this idea that with Interpol it means that these e-waste and throwing this e-waste in the environment is a crime. Now, in the document you've got the mention of different places. You've got the poor nation, and the synonym is developing countries. You've got the example of Africa, Asia, and Africa and Asia is repeated here. And this group of countries is opposed to another type of countries, like China and the US, which are developed countries, meaning rich countries. So why do we have this opposition? This opposition is made because the rich countries, so the US, for example, and China, are throwing their electronic devices in developing countries, in poor countries like Africa or Asia. And this is the problem that the article deals with. Then this e-waste is described as toxic. Okay, here a synonym is dangerous. You already know another synonym that we saw in the lesson, in the previous lesson, which is harmful. So we saw the different innovations that are harmful for the planet. So it means that this idea of toxic or harmful, and toxic is really strong, it means that it poisons the environment, and it also poisons the health of the people. So why is it so dangerous? So you've got the information in blue, in dark blue. It means that the electronic devices, like the mobile phones, the laptops, the tablets, etc., so you've got it in light blue, are containing toxic substances like lead, mercury, cadmium, arsenic. So you might know mercury and arsenic, so very dangerous materials, substances that can kill people or at least cause very serious diseases to the people. So here, in the other paragraph, these substances, when they are when the electronic devices is thrown away in the environment, the substances are going in the environment and they are contaminating the land, the water, and the air, and then indirectly contaminating the people, because people are living in this land, they are drinking the water, and they are breathing the air. There's another reason why it's also dangerous, because in these developing countries, you've got people who work to separate the different elements of the electronic devices, and so when they separate the different elements, they can be in direct contact with these substances, and they can be contaminated in this situation directly, which is really dangerous. Then, why is it such a very important problem, and even frightening problem? Because the international organization, the Europe and also so the world is really afraid of this, and they were already afraid in 2013. So it means that this problem is still and even more frightening today. So it's frightening because it's a growing problem. It's not stopping, and it's growing like a plant. So it's growing because you can see this in gray. The electronic devices are replaced more and more quickly. So you can understand that we live in a consumption society, in a very materialistic society, and people always want to have the newest electronic devices. So like you, when you always want the newest iPhones, even if your old phone is not broken and it can still work, so you always want to change. And so it makes more and more used phones that are thrown away in poor countries. Plus, you've got another argument here. So the lifetime of products is also becoming shorter. So sometimes the quality of the product is not as good as before, and so the product is not lasting long. So it means that the people are using it for a short time and then they throw it away. Then, so this problem has consequences. So consequences we saw on the environment, consequences on the health of the people, but at the end you also have another consequence. So here, if you don't recycle the electronic devices, it will create shortages of rare earth minerals. It means that if you don't recycle these minerals which are used to create these electronic equipment, and by throwing these devices, you waste these minerals and you won't be able to create new electronic equipment. So this article is showing that the inventor, the creator, the people who invent these technological innovation are not always responsible because they don't think about the future of their invention. They think about the moment of creation, the moment of using the object, but they don't think about how they are going to be thrown, recycled, and disappear in the environment. It also shows that people and countries which use these inventions are also responsible because they don't think about the consequences of their act. So I hope it's clear. So here you've got the lesson, okay, the lesson from the article. I'm going to read the lesson once, so you can have the model in terms of pronunciation, and you can listen to this model several times. And then I'm going to explain the lesson with the difficult words and difficult construction. And finally, I want you, after all this, I want you to write this lesson in your copybook, and I want you to use all the codes, so the new words, as we do in class, the new words in yellow, or you highlight the new words as you want, with the color you want. Then the verb in red, then the link words which are boxed. Okay, so, and I will, when we go back to school, and I hope it's going to be soon, I'm going to check if you have really written your lesson in your copybook. So be serious. So first, I'm reading the lesson. This document is an article about the danger of e-waste on the environment and on the health of people, because it is considered as a crime by international organizations. Indeed, the developing countries infringe or break the laws by throwing used and broken electronic devices, products, equipment in poor countries. It is harmful for the planet because these devices contain materials that contaminate, poison the land, the water and the air, and which can cause severe illness, diseases to the people. In our consumption, materialistic society, people always want to have the newest electronic devices, and they replace them quickly. As a consequence, when an electronic device is thrown away, it can't be recycled. By throwing the devices, the countries waste the mineral resources and don't think of the future. Developing countries seem to care more about profit and economy because they don't want to pay the taxes to recycle the products. Both the creator and the user of technological innovation must be aware of the consequences of their acts on the present and future life of people and of the planet. So I'm going to explain some difficult segments of the lesson. So for example, the developing countries break the laws by throwing used and broken electronic devices, and you've got the same here, by throwing the devices the country wastes. So it expresses the reason or the means why they break the laws. So they break the laws because they throw used and electronic devices. Then I want you to remember the structure want to have, okay, with so the verb which is conjugated here, want, plus to, plus verbal base. We said that to wanted to express this idea of direction. We want to do something even if we haven't done it yet. Then I want you to focus on the second, don't want to pay, and be careful with this. Then we can stop on can, which is a modal auxiliary, an auxiliary here, which expresses the possibility, a possibility that it can cause disease or death. Here it's the negation of can, so can't, it can't be recycled, so it shows the impossibility of recycling. And here you've got another modal auxiliary, which is must, and here must expresses this idea of obligation and this idea of responsibility. So this is it for today. So you've got the video, you can pause, you can repeat the video, listen to it several times. So after, so follow the instruction very precisely, in the order, don't skip steps, and when you have finished writing your lesson, when you have understood everything, you need and you must, obligation, learn your lesson by heart until it's perfect. So good luck, and I hope see you soon, and be really serious, and don't hesitate to communicate with me if you have questions. Bye bye.